So let's see, at this time, I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Lori Cardwell, who is going to share with us some tips to look our best on camera. So Lori, you have the floor and you have the ability to share your screen if you'll need to.
Great, thank you. And let me see if I can bring it up here. There we go. Sorry, just 1 second, bear with me. All right, there we go. So I am Lori Cardwell with Lori Cardwell Photography. I'm super excited to talk with you guys today. So I am a portrait photographer based out of McCordsville, Indiana. And my mission is for everyone of all ages and sizes to realize their true beauty and to have photographs that they look and feel amazing in. Because I have witnessed this firsthand, that having great images can boost your self-confidence and be a transformational experience. So I love being able to provide that to my clients. And I'd like to start off with my why and give you a little bit of background about me and how I ended up on this path in photography. So in kindergarten, we were given the opportunity to put little pictures into a time capsule. I decided in kindergarten, which I didn't even remember this, that I wanted to be an artist. Obviously, drawing is not my strong suit, as you can see there. But I think from an early age, I just always had this passion to create art. So years later, my grandmother had passed away, and it was actually, this is a grandmother on my father's side, and then a year later, less than a year later, the grandmother on my mother's side that also passed. So during that time, I really started digging through all the photos of our past and trying to connect with them, and through the images, because they were no longer there. And that's when I started really taking photography more seriously. It was always a passion of mine and always an interest, but I decided to kind of focus on that more and start creating those images for other people. And then last year, my father passed away, and unfortunately don't have great photos of him because it was just something that I thought I'd have time. And, you always think you're going to have more time than what you do. And that was something that I realized I need to take photos of my mom. So now I have great photos of my mom. I did this session as a surprise for her because she doesn't typically want to be in front of the camera. She doesn't do her hair, doesn't do her makeup. Her weight she's very self-conscious about that. But I want every person to be in front of the camera and to have those images. So I created this experience for her, and this is what I aim to do for everyone, is to have those images. Everyone should have images because self-love is what gives us the capacity to love others. So creating those images and being in front of the camera does more than just capture an image just of yourself. And they last a lifetime, and they become more valuable over time. So it's really been a passion of mine to get more people in front of the camera, even if you're uncomfortable. So that's why I want to share, some tips with you a little bit later. But I'll show a few images. I do portraits for families, for wall art. This is a great image that they did for wall art, for individuals for their business, other business professionals, for moms that maybe need to take some time out for themselves or don't have a photo with their child. Maternity sessions just for women that want to feel glamorous and have those beautiful images to pass down to their family. I love doing. This was a great story. This client, she told me that she was terrified of being in front of the camera. When we did her consultation, she was shaking, and she walked away from the session with so many images that she said that she loved, and that is what I want to do. Like, now she has images for her business that she can use on her website and everything, and she came back within 2 months and did a family portrait session. So that I was able to help her like remove that fear from being in front of the camera, because I truly care about each person that is in front of me, and I like to think that they're friends after they leave the session. So this was just a great example. Um, I would like to acknowledge that posing for a photo is awkward. It's awkward for everybody. It really is. And I try to make it as comfortable as possible for everyone. And posing is really not easy. It takes practice and it takes studying. So that's why I'd like to give you a few tips now. First, I always suggest to start off on studying yourself. Find photos that you find flattering of yourself, and even more importantly, ones that you don't. That is important to still know what doesn't work for you and what does. Every person is different. And I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm not a model, I'm not a model. Well, the models still had to practice. They didn't inherently know what works good for them or what not, what doesn't. So they're always doing tiny angles to shift your body and look better in your pose. So it's always very important to start off, do you like straight on to the side, left side, right side? And that is actually brings me to my next point of which side of your face appears better in photos. I typically I have a person stand in front of me and I have them do different angles so we can see what works. But scientists believe that people in general favor the left side of their face over the right, because the left side shows more emotional expression. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's more attractive. It just means that there's a good chance you think it's more expressive and attractive. And this is one that during my sessions, I am always saying chin forward and down, because we don't want the squished chin that we have multiple like skin areas that you don't want shown. I always tell people chin forward, like there's a string being pulled on your chin, and put it down, because then it gives you that nice, as you can see here, right there, that nice angle. It feels weird. It feels like you're a turtle or something, but it works. And I always say to be careful that you only move your chin and not your whole body. You don't want to lean completely forward. It's just with your chin. So that's a very easy tip that people can use always to make sure that you're looking your best in photos. Another one is, I know some people are worried about blinking. Like, oh, I always blink in photos, so they want to do this wide-eyed pose. Don't do that, because then you just kind of look a little crazy. So you want to make sure that you're smiling with your eyes, which you bring your lower lid up and you kind of squint. It's like a squint, but not a complete squint, because you don't want to look sleepy. So you want to make sure you're smiling with your eyes. And then it makes you look cool and confident. And it really brings out warmth and kindness in your photo, so that people look at you and they're like, like I like that person. I want to talk to them. Oh, here we go. And then another tip I give is put your tongue behind your teeth when you're smiling. It helps to prevent you from over smiling. Some people want to overdo it, and they're like, teeth, and that's too much. You want to put your tongue behind your teeth, but make sure your tongue isn't sticking out between your teeth also. And that'll give you a nice natural smile. Also, this is kind of a no-brainer, but stand up straight. A lot of people get comfortable and they start slouching, but you don't want to do that. You want to stand up straight, put your shoulders back and also down. Make sure you don't have the hunchback shoulders, and put them down. And then you also want to move your bottom out a little bit, and that will give your waist a more defined look. I know that for guys you might not want to necessarily do that, but it does work, because you want to angle and stand up straight, and you want to have good posture. Also, sitting up straight. I know some people like to kind of sit back in their chair and get all comfy and just kind of be slouching a little bit. You don't want to sit too far back. As you can see in this photo over here, She's sitting very far back on the stool. You don't want to do that because it just creates um, an unflattering pose on your legs. It puts too much weight on your legs. So on this one, she's scooted closer towards the edge of the seat. And then also, you can't see, but her toes are kind of angling her legs up so that it takes the weight off of your thighs on the chair, and it creates the angle. You also want to move your arm away from your body, and make sure that you're not facing straight on towards the camera, because if you cross your legs and you're facing straight on, it kind of cuts your body in half. So you make sure you move your legs to the side, and then that creates a nice visual. Lean in. This is a very important one, I feel, for women especially. Women, you don't want to sit back. When you lean back, you think that you're looking confident and strong, which is awesome, a great pose. But if you want to have slimmer hips, you want to lean forward into the camera, because anything that's close to the camera will appear bigger. So you don't necessarily want that all the time. You'll have a small head and then a wider hip area. To avoid that, you want to lean in towards the camera so that kind of tapers your waist. And let's see what else. Separate your arms from the body. As you can see on this don't photo, she's got her arms glued to her sides. That doesn't create a flattering shape. You can't really, it kind of looks, like the shirt's kind of blobby. What you want to do is turn to a 45-degree angle and create separation from your arm and your body. And gives that nice triangle right here. And then also this progresses into suggestion of the slim arm. Moving to the side, just having the angle is perfect. This goes from like bad, good to best. So yeah, moving to the side, she already looks better than straight on, but creating that separation with the arm, it gives you the skinny arm, because you can see right here, you just, anything that's pressed against your body is going to feel bigger because there's that pressure. So you want to make sure you move that away, and it also helps to cinch the waist. Let's see, also work the angles. You can see here straight on, it's not very flattering, but here when she has all her weight on the back foot, one foot in front of the other, and kind of angles that in, and the arm on her hip, it gives her a more flattering S shape. With women, we always want to create that S shape. With men, you may want to do the straight on power pose, because that gives a, but men typically want to appear broader. So you want to do that straight on pose. For women, we want to angle, always angle. So just to give a little bit about my process, is I start off with the consultation. We go through how they're going to use the images so that we can figure out what kind of poses will work, what kind of style will work. In the session, I can have a hair and makeup artist come in before the session, which is an amazing experience for most people. They don't have to worry about getting ready and doing that themselves ahead of time. It takes a lot of stress out of it. And then after the session, we review the raw images, and then we deliver the edited images. So great referrals for me would be pretty much everyone. I mean, who doesn't need a great photo, right? Professionals, CEOs, marketing managers, HR managers, business coaches. The possibilities are really endless with photography and with portraits. So things to look out for are if people mention an anniversary or a birthday, pregnancy, or if they have aging parents. It's a great opportunity for them to give a gift of photography, something that keeps on giving after it's done. If people mention weight loss, life changes, or if they're making resolutions and are going to make a major change in their life, mentally, physically, spiritually, anyway. If you see that their profile picture is empty, maybe if they say that they're rebranding their business and are looking for a refresh, that's a great opportunity for me to be introduced to them. Or if they say that their headshot is so old, obviously, headshots, I would typically suggest every 1 to 2 years, or if somebody does a drastic like hairstyle change or anything like that, I would definitely see to update those, because no one wants to go see somebody when on their photo they look like it was taken 10 years ago. Sometimes you might think, well, if they're letting that slide, if they don't think that that's a priority, like, are they too busy to deal with me or with any other business that I could send their way? You know, so having an updated photo really shows people that you stay on top of your game. Um, there are also ways. I love collaborating with other businesses. I love creating those opportunities just to partner with a company and we can cross promote each other on social media, do giveaways, campaigns, co-host champagne parties or jewelry parties, massage parties, anything like that. That's usually a great connection for me. We can partner with vouchers, exchange top clients, do a client appreciation day. If somebody has like a place of business and they would like images in their place of business, I would love to work with them to create custom artwork for their walls. And then that would help cross promote, as anytime a customer would come in, they could see my work on the wall. So there's so many opportunities. I would love to connect with businesses. So if you know of anybody that way, that would also be a great introduction. And there's my contact information. And I hope that I was able to give you some tips on how next time you're in front of the camera, you maybe aren't so hesitant to, jump in front of the camera and get that great shot, because you'll know how to pose and be confident. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Lori?
I don't have any questions, but I want to say great job. I mean, that was a great presentation. I learned a lot. It's interesting to me about the left side, maybe has more emotional expression. I'm going to test that theory and see if that really works. And also the chin forward and down. I mean, I have this double chin that I inherited from my mother and my grandma. So that was worth the price of admission. I appreciate that, because I'm always trying to hide it. And I think what I do is I exacerbate it from putting my chin down too much. I like smile with your eyes, the tongue behind the teeth. Tell me more. I don't get that. I was trying to do that.
Yeah, so you just kind of put it up towards the roof of your mouth and then just put it behind your teeth a little bit. So when you're smiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the roof of the mouth sounds better. If I try to put it behind my teeth, that's where I was getting tripped up. But good job, Lori. Thanks.
Thank you.
I was trying the whole teeth thing while you were talking, and yeah, I have a big smile usually like this, but when I did your method, it was much more, within frame and not too wild.
Great, thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions for Lori?
My world is kind of consumed with people that are job seeking in my field. So when you had the picture of like the LinkedIn without anybody's face, I was like, oh man, even if you just did a quick session with them online, like I could see that being a potential target market to job seekers, and maybe not, just hourly job seekers, but like professional job seekers, I think would gladly take you up on, even just a 30-minute session.
Awesome. Well, if anyone does not have any other questions or comments for Lori, let's give her a hand for her presentation today.